Hello everyone, here at OS and VTXReviews.com. Today we're giving you the exclusive review of the Archos 7 Home tablet, which is a 7-inch Android-based tablet made by Archos. Now, the first thing you need to know about this tablet is it's a 7-inch resistive touchscreen, which means that if you're expecting something on the level of a honeycomb or a Apple iPad type responsiveness, you will be disappointed because simple swipes and gestures will not be recognized. We have seen a lot of recent touchscreens with resistive technology that actually functions well, like ebook readers and e-ink screens, but this is not that type of screen. You can have it tap very hard a few times, and the best experience comes from your fingernails. If you swipe like that, oops, and there's a lot of few mishits, you should be able to do fine if you use your fingernail. And another few specs you'll be noticing is that this is not a 1 GHz processor. It's even under 800 MHz. It's something like 600 MHz, and that is very slow for this type of tablet computing. To be considered that a lot of phones run on this processor, and they actually run fine, like the HTC G1 or even the Motorola Click. But those screens are capacitive, and again, basically the capacitive and non-capacitive resistive screen makes a large difference in terms of actually responsiveness on this type of early Android tablet. Now, in some instances, we've seen a few tablets with, again, resistive screens that actually have multi-touch, and some features actually work well, but this is a Android 1.5 device that Archos has decided to go with a basic ROM with nothing at all that is different from the stock Android experience, and that means no App Store, because it's from Archos. It's no App Store, very limited, no Android App Store. It's very limited because there's no multi-touch, there's no touchscreen, and because everything is first generation, it's very clunky, and paired with this 7-inch resistive touchscreen, it makes for a disappointing result. Hardware-wise, though, you will not be expecting something that's actually very cheap. It's actually very well made because of the brushed aluminum on the edges, as you can see, of the 7-inch screen. It also has stereo speakers on both sides. The speakers are very tinny, though, but they do offer a great line of sight. However, when you're holding a tablet, you may be holding over the speakers and be disturbing your sound overall. The device is also very pencil thin, so we do have to applaud Archos for making an attempt at something that people will want to carry around because it's very small. On the right hand side, we have a micro USB for syncing the 8 GB of internal memory inside for content like video. We also have a 3.5mm headphone jack for listening to music. In addition, we have a proprietary charging jack. The proprietary charging jack is very small, and it's very proprietary with Archos products, so it's very easily can break. Not sure why if you have a micro USB you're going to have another connection just for charging, which is very disappointing. On the top, though, we have access to a micro SD card slot for more content, and that's a great move. We have a lock switch for on and off, and we also have a charging indicator. And that's basically all. On the back, we have a brushed aluminum look, which is a very good move by Archos. It does have a few fingerprint smudges, but overall, it maintains a very high-end, nice weight. You also have a very flimsy plastic kickstand, but again, a kickstand is a kickstand. It's one of the things that differentiates Archos portable media devices from anything that we've seen out there. They all have like kickstand, and that's great because for watching movies and browsing the web, it's a huge advantage. We don't need a case or anything to make it stand up, and that's something a lot of devices out there are missing. It's something that Archos does, and it does well. Again, this is a cupcake, very, very, very stock Android experience, except you also notice that there's no hardware control, so all the home buttons and the media controls can be up here, which is annoying because when we're going to be watching in the midst of a video format, like if we watch Big Buck Bunny, and here's a preloaded video, and we're going, oh, this is a very pretty animation. As you can see, the screen, 800x640, is a pretty decent screen. Not a lot of issues with viewing angles and brightness. But then you're saying, okay, the display looks great, and the video is really intriguing. How do I turn off the volume? There is no external volume controls. There's no home button. There's nothing. You have to tap the screen, and then you have to on, and it's very slow to respond, as you can see there. And it's just clunky. And then we tap it again, wait for that to disappear. And so everything is very manual. Visual controls, it's not the best solution out there. Although you will have very simplistic Apple-like design, you have to really have a capacitive screen to even consider using something that's entirely based on the screen itself, or else the experience is going to be more infuriating than good. The video player, however, does function very well. The formats are supported, are very widely recognized, and it's one of the benefits of Archos, and one of the benefits definitely of Android MP4 videos. Everything plays fine without stuttering, and you can definitely seek around. Because there's no accelerometer, there's no microphone, there's no GPS, there's also no Bluetooth on here. Basically, you're getting everything else very, very basically. So there's not going to be a great music experience unless you use the 3.5mm headphone jacks. There's not going to be anything else other than Wi-Fi for connection and Wi-Fi for web access. As you can see, when you access the search bar, because it's not a capacitive touchscreen, things take a few moments to search, and a lot of errors can occur. It just takes a few moments because you can't hit 2 keys at once. It doesn't recognize things if you're going too fast, so slow down a little bit, and you should be typically fine. Again, there's no Android App Store, so we're getting greeted to the App Store preloaded by Archos, which is the apps lib. Apps lib is okay. The entire format, it's very easy to access. It looks very much like the Android App Store. In terms of organization, it's very simplistic, and in terms of actually software designing, they did a very nice job. Unfortunately, all the apps are already, pre-selected for this tablet, which is a very early modification, and for a tablet itself, so all the apps are just very, very limited. No Angry Birds. There's not any apps that you really want, except for a few that are actually pretty good. The rest are just very, very ugly, actually. Like, for this is a ebook, actually, and as you can see, we're turning pages like so, and it flashes, and it doesn't take advantage of the entire screen, and this is not the nighttime viewing experience. This is just the normal experience. So it's just very, very strange. Some of the apps aren't picked well. I think they're just picked because it runs on this product, and it's just not a great experience overall. You also have prepackaged apps like the basic alarm clock. We have other apps like a color note. Aldeco is the basic e-reading application. This is one of the few exceptions that actually work well. There's no accelerometer, so you're not going to be rotating your screen also on this when you're web browsing. This app automatically works in this orientation, which is kind of lucky, and there you go. You can read, and things are actually pretty fast on this application in general. You're created to the stock Android-based web browser, which is a very, very no flash, no nothing web browser. You're not going to be able to watch YouTube videos, which is very disappointing, which means there's also no YouTube dedicated app in here, which means you can't watch YouTube at all in general. There's no flash. Web browsing on this is also very clunky due to the keyboard, and when you're actually browsing, it takes a few moments to respond, and over Wi-Fi connections, it takes a little while to actually load due to the slower processor, which is quite unfortunate. So overall, not a great experience. We did sideload Skyfire by some means of actually dragging, but that's actually not something that an average user will do something right out of the box. It's not a very complete experience once we first power up the device, and that's what people are looking for. However, we will say that because this is $200, you can't expect something that is 100% there. That said, it does take too much, we think, out of the package. If you're thinking of getting this device because, I want a photo frame, and I want to watch videos, and I just want to do very basic web browsing, and a few things that tablets can do, like Google searches and Gmail and checking stuff like that, it actually works well, you will be impressed. But if you're looking for anything because this says home tablet and you're just going to be replacing your computer because it's for home and it's a tablet, well, unfortunately, no, the touchscreen is really bad. In addition to these things, this device actually has a few problems, like we've noticed that overall, through the few months that we've used it, sometimes the charging doesn't work well. This may be our review model in particular, but it kind of overheats on the top of the device, and what that means is when we plug it in, it's not going to charge. It makes this popping sound like pop, and then the device automatically restarts and powers off. It cycles over and over again through the on-off screen, and it doesn't charge the battery. So there's a lot of hardware bugs and software bugs that we thought this device was broken, and that's really quite unacceptable. So although this has a great a larger screen, and if you just want to read ebooks, again, photo frame, want to watch videos that you sideloaded, and you also do a little basic web browsing, you are evidently going to get a better experience in this tiny screen like the iPod Touch. But if you want anything more, if you want an experience that actually counts because the processor is fast, if you want to do anything like watch videos online on YouTube, this will disappoint your needs, and it's not something that's entertainment at the best point. So unfortunately, this device is not better than any generic China and copy clone tablet. It delivers on the hardware aspect because it's very well polished and well made. So in terms of that, you are getting something that looks pretty good. But it's inexpensive, but it's on the performance level very disappointing. At osmvtxreviews.com, this is the Archos 7 home tablet. Please read all about it and our full rating and full review at our osmvtxreviews.com. Thank you for watching.